In this webinar on online teaching and learning series 1, we are going to learn two things. One is Google Form, another one is e-certification. Google Forms, you all know. For e-certification, we are just going to use a third-party Certify-M. First, if you take a Google Form, there you have 3 steps: creation, editing, and distributing. That is publishing. So if you take the Google Form, the first step we have seen as creation of forms. We are just going to create a form now. So whenever we talk about creation of form, we should always make sure that you have a Gmail ID. So you should always have a Gmail ID in order to create a Google form. So first log into your account. So you'll be moving into the inbox of your account, and there you could see some 9 dots. If you are going to click over there, then you'll be given a menu like this. Once you got a menu, there you could find icon that says drive. Select that. So you will be taken to your my drive. So there you could see a icon, otherwise menu, which says as new. Click on the new, then you will be prompted with a menu and a submenu. The menu contains folder, file upload, folder upload, like that. There you have an option called more. There you have to select Google Forms. So once you select Google Form, you will be getting inside this Google Form. There you have two things. One is the name of the form, that is here I have highlighted, no, that is the name of the form. And here above in the upper left corner, you are having an untitled form, that is said to be the title of the form. So first of all, you have to type in a name of the form. That is feedback for FDP Online Teaching and Learning Series 1. And after that, that will be taken to the title. So if you click on the untitled form again, then the name of the form gets copied as the title of the form. Here you could see that. So it gets copied. Now you could see the feedback for FTP Online Teaching and Learning Series 1, which we have given as the name of the form as the title of the form. So we have got the two things correctly. So these two things are very, very important once you do the Google form. The third thing is, if you want to give any further description about the form, you can give it below the line which says description. So actually, I have modified that with the organized by the Department of Computer Application and Research Center and IPSS Sarathapu College. So I have given that as the description. So we'll be having the description. By default, once you create a Google form, you'll be prompted with one question, with an untitled question as the question, and option 1 is the answer for it. Is not actually answer, it is the option for that particular question. So this is the basic thing. Once you create a Google form, you'll be getting. So mainly these Google forms are used for getting feedbacks or doing a particular survey or for creating quiz. So for different purpose we'll be using. So depending on the purpose, you have to select the questions. So what are the different types of questions that are possible for us to create? So here it is listed some 6 to 7 types of question we can create. One is short answer, another one is paragraph, or if you want to, you can go for multiple choice or checkbox, or a list if you want to create a list, or if you want to create a grid, you can create grid question also. So you are able to create different type of questions. So first of all, we are just going to see how to create a simple question with a short answer. So where you have to have the question is, already I have mentioned that you will be having an untitled question. There you have to type the question. So here I have mentioned as name, because this is a feedback form. So it is going to have a name. So you all know that name is going to have a short answer. So instead of multiple choice, here it is prompted with what type of question it is. So there you have to mention the short answer. So you have the question as well as you have the type of the question you have selected. So that's it. It's over for one question. And here you could see one particular field that is named as required field. So you all know that each and every person would be having a name as well as a register number. It is better you just highlight that required. So you just have to switch on that required. If you are not going to do that, the people will not have any patience for filling out all the things. So they will just leave out the important things and then they will just submit it. So suppose if you are going to give record here, then it makes sure that if the person is not going to answer this question, they will be prompted with the thing that you must answer this particular question. So for that, it is always safer to give record for each and every question. The second thing is there is another one icon called that is copy icon. So this is very useful whenever you are going to have a multiple choice or a grid. Suppose if you are going to create a grid type of question, at the time you need not create the second question again and again. Instead of that, what you can do is first you can create one question and just click on this icon. It is going to create another set of question for you where you can just make the changes. It is not necessary that you have to create all the multiple choices. So we'll later on we'll be seeing that. Just you remember that it is meant for copying the question. So now what I am going to do is I'm going to click on the particular icon. Now you could see the name question because I have copied only the name short answer type of question. So it gets copied here. So we have two questions here. One is the name question. Again, I have copied, so I am having the name question. So next one, we are going to see the another icon over there, that is the delete icon. So suppose if I am going to delete that particular question, I can just click on this particular icon and the question gets deleted. So we have seen how to create the title and how to create the name for the particular form and how to give the description we have seen and how to create a simple question with a short answer and how to make it as a required question and how to delete the question and how to copy the question. So basically these are the things which we are going to do for a single question. So we have completed with how to make a question. This is I am speaking about only the feedback question. I have not entered into the quiz question. So forget about all the answering and things. Just we are just going to first concentrate only on feedback. So now we are going to see how to add the second question. So for that you could see a bar at the right side of the name question. You could see a bar there. You have different icons. The first icon is add question icon. So if you are going to click that add question, it is going to take you to the take you to this another question. So now you could see the question and you have the multiple choice. So this is the default option. So whenever you are going to add a question, it is going to add you a multiple choice. We have to make it as short answer or paragraph or whatever you want, you can make it. So now what you are going to do is you are just going to make it as a multiple choice question. Here you could see option 1. So first of all, you just write in the question what are the question you want. And then in the option 1, you have to give the first answer. And you have to click on the add option. So you could see here there is an add option. So click on the add option. Just click over there. So you'll be prompted with the cursor. And in the cursor, you have to write the second option. Similarly, you can add different options. And once it is finished, then you can leave with that. Suppose if you have added another question, there is a icon here like into icon. So you can click over the icon to delete that particular option. It is an option, that is answer option. If you want, you can delete it. You do not delete the question. So suppose if you want to delete the question, previously we have seen a delete icon, that a delete icon we have to use. This is for deleting the option in the multiple choice question. So we have created a multiple choice question. And suppose if you want to have a yes or no type of question, that is very easy because by default, we are just going to have a multiple choice with one option. Suppose if you see there, depending upon the question, this Google form intelligently, it says, because here I have given the question as, did the webinar meet your expectation? Once you type the question, it intelligently decides that it is going to have yes or no, or maybe this type of answers only these people are going to give for this particular question. So what it will do is, it will give you a suggestion that you can add yes, no, maybe, or if you want to have a yes, no, then you have to select that particular option. Suppose if you are going to give add all, it is going to add all the option yes, no, and maybe. Suppose if you want to have only yes or no, just select yes and no. So you need not type that. It is better you just select yes or no. So suppose if you are going to give add all, it is going to add all the three things, yes, no, and maybe. Suppose if I don't want maybe, I'll be just removing by clicking the into icon, which we have dealt already. So next type of question is linear scale question. This type of question most probably will be using in feedback. So how you are going to rate this webinar session? So this type of question will be just having in the feedback forms. So now you could see that how would you rate the webinar question? Once you type this question, the Google Forms intelligently decides it's going to have a linear scale. Once it sees the question itself, it will just decide that it is going to have a linear scale. So it will prompt you with the linear scale type, and it will give you 1 to 5. So in 1 to 5, the label 1 you have to write the lowest scale, and in label 1 that is the lowest scale you have to give, and in label 5 you have to give the upper scale. So if you are going to give that, then it is okay. Here if you want to make it as record, make it as record. If you want to have a copy of this particular question, you can copy the particular question, or if you don't want, you can delete it. Everything is possible once you complete the question. So once you give these things, it will appear like this. Once you give a linear scale question, it will appear like this only. This you cannot see while creating the question. After the third point which we are going to discuss, then only we can see this type of output. So next question we are going to see is drop down question. How likely are you to join us in a webinar in future? Suppose if the question is like that, then we can have a drop down list which have different values like likely, neutral, more likely, something options you can have, drop down options you can have. So suppose if I am going to give all the options like this, for that we have to click on add option. So you have to add on the option, then you can have a drop down. This drop down question will be having likely, neutral, more likely as 1, 2, and 3. Don't worry. While creating the form, it will be having 1, 2, 3 as the option. It will not show any drop down. It will not show any drop down. Don't worry about that. So you'll be having how likely or you join this webinar. So it looks like this. And what we can make is once you publish, then we'll be having the very same question appearing as a drop down window. So don't worry about while creating your question, don't worry about the thing why it is giving like 1, 2, and 3. It is not like that. Once you publish, then only you'll be having this particular drop down window appearing. So next type of question is multi-choice grid. Multi-choice grid is, suppose if you want to give a multiple choice question or match the following question, at that time you can give this particular option. So it will be having two columns. One is rows and the one is column. So in the rows you can give some questions and the answers you can map it out in the next column. So you just give all the options. Here I have given Java programming, Google and Python as the language or some products, software products, and in the column I have given the people who have invented that. So this is a question, and we have to frame. And in the, once you publish, the students or the people would be getting the options for answering. So it looks something like this. You can just see how it is displayed. After publishing only, you'll be getting like this. So this is going to give you an option for selecting the selecting one answer. So for Java programming, the answer is James Gosling. For Google, the answer is Larry Page. For Python, the answer is Rosa. So you will be prompted like this one. So next one is tick box grid. This is somewhat different from the previous one. Here also you can give the rows and columns. Here the rows and columns can be any number of rows and columns. And in the match the following, you'll be always having the number of rows and number of columns same. That type of question, you have to follow that. This one is a different option, because you can have a question something like this, which is the time which is more flexible for you to attend the webinar, and which date it is more flexible for you. So suppose if I'm interested in 10 to 12 of Monday and Wednesday, I can choose 10 to 12 on Mondays and Wednesdays. So you just see here. So this is how the output would be. Once you publish, you'll be having like this only. So you can choose multiple choice. But in the previous one, you just see, for Java programming, you can select only one. You cannot select more than one. But here, for 10 to 12, you can choose more than one. So depending upon your application, you can choose different type of questions and prepare prepare your feedback forms. So now we have completely seen what are the different type of questions we can add in your feedback form. Now we are going to see about how to import questions. Suppose you imagine that you are having a questions. Suppose you just have a particular feedback form which was created previous year, and just you wanted to add 2 more questions to that particular feedback form. For that, you need not create from the scratch. You need not create. Instead of that, what you can do is you can just import the question by clicking on here. So just create a Google form, as we have seen previously at the start of the program. We have seen how to create a Google form. Once you create a Google form, you will be having only one option question. At that time, you just import the questions. Click the import question. At the time, you will be prompted with the select form. You can select from where I have to import all the questions. Here, for example, I have chosen some form from which I just wanted to extract all the questions. So I have selected one form. So it is going to give you a window where you have all the questions. So you will be prompted with select all, and you will be listed with all the questions. So what you have to do is you have to check in the select all. So suppose if you are going to check in the select all the questions would be imported to your particular form. So this is how. So it is going to import some 10 questions for you. So it will import some 10 questions for you. And suppose if I don't want, what I can make is I can unselect all the thing, uncheck all the other questions. I just select only one question. So this prompts us with importing only one question. So this is how we can import one question. You can see now I have imported one question. The problem of finding hidden structure in unlabeled data is called. Even I have marked an answer for that. That answer is also copied here. The answer for that particular question is also copied. Whatever things you have done in the previous form, all gets imported to this form. So all the reworks are eliminated by doing this import option. Next one is adding title and description. So adding title is description is you may be having a feedback which would be having some kind of description for your particular set of questions. So you may be having some 3 sets of question, and 3 sets of question are related to 3 different criteria. So what you can do is you can give the criteria in the title and description for that particular criteria, and then you can put the 3 questions. Then you can add title and description, and then you can give that criteria and the description. So similarly, you can do different sections. So suppose if I am going to give add section, it is going to give you untitled title and description. So you have to give a title and you have to give a description, and after that you can add question. As we have discussed earlier, you can add questions to this particular section. So now I have given quiz time and testing your knowledge gain in the webinar. So that is the title I have given, and the questions going to follow are going to be a quiz related to this webinar. So similarly, we can create. Now I have shown a particular question is added for this particular that is title. For this particular title, we have created a set of questions. Next one is suppose if I just wanted to add an image. Actually, it is hidden. So here you could see here. So here you could, after this title, you have this image icon. That is the 4th option. You can refer later. So there is a 4th option for adding an image. So If you are just going to click that particular option, then you will be prompted with this all the things. So upload, camera, by URL, photos, Google Drive, and Google Images. So these are the 6 options through which you can add your image. So upload is going to get an image from your own computer. Suppose if you have your good image in your computer, then you can add by using that upload. Suppose if I want to search a Google image and just want to insert that image, then I can go in for this Google image search. So if I give a particular the title of the image which I wanted to search, for example, here Google Forms I have given. So it is going to prompt you with the different type of images which matches to the particular title which I have given in the search box. So if I am interested in the first image displayed, so I will be just choosing the first image, and it gets automatically inserted into the question. So suppose if you want to insert any image into a question, you can easily do that by using this image icon. So the next icon is add video. Suppose if I want to get a feedback for a particular video, suppose if I want to know how far the students have understood about a particular video, at that time what I can do is I can add a video. So for adding the video, I'll be using video search and URL. So in video search, you know that you will be having a one search box appearing. In that, if you give a particular topic, like I just wanted to see about the Google Forms. So if you are going to give like that, then it will give you list out a different number of videos. So you can go through the videos and you can select which video you are interested, and you can just select that particular video. It gets inserted. Or else what you can do is you can select the URL. So that is the second option you have. So if you know the URL of the particular video, suppose you imagine that you have created a YouTube video and you have uploaded the YouTube video in the internet. So if that is the case, then if you know the URL. In that case, you can directly give the URL. At that time, your video gets inserted into the question. So in this way, we can insert videos. Another one thing is add section. So add section is going to give you an option for adding different sections. So the previously we have seen add title. It is different. Add section is completely different. So add section, what it is going to do is will be prompted with a particular set of question, and once you proceed with the question, then only you can move to the second session. So for that you have to just click on the button, then you will be prompted with section 2 of 2, because already we have one section. So here this is the second session. So here also you'll be having a title and description. You can easily give the title and description. Suppose if I have a set of 5 questions, I'm just going to repeat the 5 questions again with just the title name is different and the session name is different. Then I can select the duplicate session here. So once you see this icon here, up arrow and down arrow, there if you click, you will be prompted with this 4 options: duplicate session, move section, delete section, and merge with above. So you can give you can select the duplicate session. So the previous this section what you have created, no, that gets duplicate. And next one is so you could see that after the section 1 continue to next section, after section 2 continue to next section. So we are having 3 sections here. Suppose very sorry about it. So we have that particular thing this hidden, that is moving to a particular session. So depending upon a condition, you can move to particular session. So here you just see for this question. So for option question, if the answer is going to be yes, you have to move to one section. If the answer is going to be no, then you can move to different section. So here we can see suppose if you are going to give an option, then it will give a option for you to move. So here the first session name is feedback for FDP. The second session name is testing the sessions. So you can choose which option you want to select for moving based on the answer the student or the people who are the customer who is going to give the feedback. So depending upon that, you can choose and go to different section. I believe that that is present here. If possible, I will do it in the demo later on. I will do it in the demo. And so we have seen all these things. How to here is the thing that is goes to the session and based on answer. So suppose um, if you have a different option question, that is option 1, it's going to give you yes, and option 2, I'll show here yes. If the answer is yes, continue the next section. If the answer is going to be no, go to section 1. So this is possible only if you are going to create differentiation. If you are not going to create differentiation, but you create only the title, text and title, that option, then you will not be able to move to different sections depending upon the answer. So depending upon the application you are just going to use, that is the for the purpose for which you are going to create the feedback, we have to create your forms. For this, these 6 options are useful for us. The first one is add question, second one is importing, third one is adding title, fourth one is inserting image, fifth one is inserting a video, and sixth one is inserting sections or creating different sections. So this is all about the questions. So we have discussed all and in and out about all the questions. And suppose if you are completed all the questions, it is better you just go and click on the preview icon, which is present in the right upper corner. So there you have the 3 icons. In the middle icon is preview icons, and you can preview and see how your questions are getting viewed. So this is how your form is going to be. So here is the multiple choice question. Suppose if it is a checkbox question. Checkbox question is you can select more than one option. So for multiple choice, you will be selecting only one option. For checkbox, you can select more than one option. So this is a multiple choice question. Here you could see next icon. So this next icon comes only we have inserted the second section. So in the first section you had all these things. In the second question you had inserted the Apple image and all that appears in the previous slide. So that comes in the second section. So once you create different sections, you can move on to the second section. Once you once you complete the first section, then only you'll be prompted with the next, and you have to move on to the next. You can move on to the next section. And we have given all as a required question. So this is how it is going to prevent the people from doing some errors. So since you have given all the questions as a required question, it will just prompt you when if you are going to press next button without giving answer for all the required questions. So it will prompt an error. So suppose if you are going to give all the answers for that, and if you press next, it moves to the second section. You can see the testing the session as the second session. We all know it moves to the second session. In the second session, you will be listed with all the questions, and you will be having 2 buttons. One is back button and another one is next button. So the back button is going to move you to the first session, and the next button to the next section. If you have the third session, it moves on to the next session. So your questions would be like this. So we have completed all the questions, how to create and what are the different types of questions we can create. All the things we have completed. So this is enough for creating a feedback question. So we have not seen anything about the quiz and marking and grading, that we have not completed. So we have seen how to create questions, and the important thing is responses. Once you create the question, and if it is not published properly, and if it is not shared with the people, then you cannot expect any feedback. So responses are important. So once you go into the response, then you have this menu. You get this menu. So the first one says that get email notification for the new responses. So whenever a new response comes, whenever the people are going to attempt your feedback form and give an answer, then your email will be getting a notification. Here, if I click that here in the below left corner, you can see that email notification is enabled. Similarly, we can select response destination. Response destination prompt you with two things. One is create a new spreadsheet. Another one is select existing spreadsheet. This is where all the feedback response would be recorded. So you need not you need not give any name for that. It is better you just have the default name, because it is going to take the name from the title or the name of your Google form. So it is better to have the name for your response destination, because if you are going to give a different name, both would be having a conflict name. You will not be able to understand and see the feedback what the people have to use. So it is better always have the same name. And next thing is, this is the sheet where you'll be having different fields which you have created already, and the time stamp and score, or these are the different fields which the Google Forms itself will include. But we have created name, destination, place, date, country, phone. The webinar was interesting, something like that. The questions we have created. No, for all the questions, big sheet would be created with all the responses. Suppose if you want to delete all the response, you can delete it, because already we have here no delete all responses. You can delete all the responses. Similarly, if you want to download that as a dot comma separated value sheet, then you can download the responses as a .csv file, which you can use it later for your reference. So these are about the responses. Next important thing is we are going to see the settings, because we have got the questions, we have prepared the response sheet, then we have to see the settings. In the settings, the important thing is you have to collect the email addresses, because in the question form we have not given any field for typing the question. So it is better you just collect email addresses. You just check in the collect email addresses and limit to one response. That is going to limit a person can respond only one time. Otherwise, you'll be having the same feedback given by a same person multiple times. So it is better to restrict the people to limit the response to one. Then don't always check this respondent scan, edit after submit. This is only this option you can use only if you wish the student to study some material. Once they give a wrong answer, then they can go, they can redo the quiz again and again. If that is the case, then you can give the edit after submit. And always I advise not to use the C summary chart and text responses of the respondents. So the respondents need not see this. Only the people who is posting the question need to see that. So it is better you just check in only the collect email addresses and limit to one response. So these things you have to do. Next one is presentation. In the presentation, it is better you can shuffle the question order. Suppose if you are going to shuffle the question order, make sure don't give the number for the question. So if you are going to give the number for the question, then it looks awkward to see 12th person coming first and first person coming second. So don't always give the number while you are going to choose this shuffle question order. So confirmation message, it's always advisable to give a confirmation message. Once the people give a feedback, you can give a good confirmation message for the people. Let it be an encouraging one. So next one is quizzes. The third option is quizzes. So here, this is very, very important. Suppose if you are going to make that as a quiz. If you are not going to make that as a quiz, it is not at all a problem. The thing which you have done in the previous slide, that is general. We have seen no collect email addresses and limit to one response. This is enough. This is enough for a feedback. Suppose if you are going to create it as a quiz, make this as a quiz. So that option you have to select. And later after manual review, that option you have to give. Only when you are just going to give two type of questions. That is, if you are going to give a short question and short answer and a paragraph type of question, then you just better use this option later after manual review. Because you will be setting one answer, the student will be writing one answer. But it will be somewhat related to the question you have asked. If you are going to give the Google to make us grade for the particular question, it will just say 0 mark. But you people will be just giving, suppose if it is 2 mark question, you will be just, as an encouraging factor, you will be just giving 1 mark for the student. So in that case, you always advisable, suppose if you have a short answer and paragraph answer, you always have later after panel review is checked. And you just tick on the missed question, correct answer, point values, that also the respondent can see the missed question, they can see correct answers, they can see the point that check. So this is how we will be just creating a feedback form. Now I am going to say you how to make it as a quiz by giving some grades for the particular, right, points for the particular question, and how to set the answer. That I am going to say. Suppose if you make that as a quiz, That is very, very important. So in the settings, you have to make that as a quiz. After that, come to the question. Make that as a quiz, and that after that, come to the question. Once you come to the question, there you can see an answer. Once you click on the question, you'll be prompted with the answer key here. So it will be answer key and points. So once you click this answer key and points, then it will allow you to do the checking. So you will be allowed to check all the answers. What are the answers you want to check? If it is a multiple choice, you will be prompted with one. And if it is a that is a checkbox, then you can select more than one. And this is your answer. So you can see a tick mark at the right side. So this is your answer. So suppose if they are going to select all the four, then only it is correct. Then you can give a scale over here. So here there is a up down arrow here. There is a drop down list that there you can give your points. What point you have to give, that point you can give. And suppose if you want to encourage the student, you can add answer feedback. So once you click on the answer feedback, then you will be prompted with for incorrect answer what I have to say, for correct answer what I have to say. That will be prompted. So for incorrect answer, you just give sorry, don't lose your heart, keep learning. Something whatever you want, you can give. For the correct answer, you can give an encouraging word. You can give. So once you give, you'll be getting the things like this. So you'll be having a question, you will be prompted with the answer, and also what the feedback you are going to give once the student is going to answer the question. So everything would be prompted for you here once you complete the quiz. So similarly, suppose if it is a multiple choice question, you can set again the answer key, give the answer, give the feedback. So it looks something like this. So we have completed all the questions and how to make it as a quiz and how to see the responses, everything we have completed. Now it is the beautifying part of your Google form. If you want to beautify the Google form and if you want to customize your Google form, that in that case you can use the first icon in the upper right corner. You'll be having three icons. From the icon, the first one is the customized theme. You have to choose that customized theme. So for that, you can suppose if you want to add a header for your quiz, you can add it by choosing a particular theme. So here it is given a header, choose an image is given. So suppose if you are going to choose the image, it will prompt you with a different kind of headers. The templates which are already available, so you can choose a particular template there. It gets uploaded. Suppose if you want to create a new, if you want to have a new image, then you can always upload the image. Here you are having upload and photos and themes you are having. So you can choose the upload. Then it will prompt you to browse your computer, select an image, and you can give. So similarly, you can give your own image also. Then suppose if you want to change the theme color of the Google form, you can change the theme color, background color, and if you want to change the form style, you can do that. And always it is advisable to collect the email addresses. Don't forget to do that. And now we are just going to publish it. So the publishing is very important. So for this, what you have to do is you have to select the publish icon. So there you will be prompted with the things that is send via email, or it will be prompted to create a link and you can share this link. So similarly, you just see I have selected the second icon. So the second icon is creating a link and you can share the link. So this is how the people are doing now. So you have to select the second option, which is going to give you a link. So this link will be a very big one. Instead of that, what you can do is you can choose the shorten URL. So it is going to give you a shorten URL of the Google form which you have created. So just copy this link and you can post it in a WhatsApp, or you can share it the email IDs of your friends and colleagues. So whatever things you can whomever people you want to do the particular feedback, you can send those people either through email or by sharing the link through WhatsApp. So this is completely about how to do a feedback form and how to go about with the quiz we have completed, and we have seen how to create and how to